This is a red Tacoma I picked up for $1,000 off of Facebook Marketplace. And in this video, I'm gonna show you guys everything I've learned on my journey about learning to flip cars, all right? So this is the second car I've flipped in the past 3 months. And I actually ended up picking this up for $1,000. Yes, you heard me right, guys, $1,000. This truck has 178,000 miles, no mechanical problems other than a slight valve cover gasket leak, and the AC does not work. I will show you guys the engine real quick. That way you can see what we're working with. So yeah, this is my first Tacoma, but Tacomas hold their value and they're really important. So that's the first thing, is when you guys are flipping stuff or you're looking for flips, you want to look for something that people are seeking after, people want. There's a high demand for these trucks, and even though it's from 2004, it doesn't matter. People still want these old Tacomas. People don't want a Hyundai like that, right? That's my daily driver. They want these trucks, right? They want Fords, they want Toyotas, they don't want Hyundais, right? So learn a market, find a niche, and I like flipping Ford Escapes. That's my go-to. So I got there, and I'll leave a link in the caption. I'll throw some pictures up on the screen, but the first thing you look for is, rust, right? Rust is the biggest thing. No one wants these if they're rusted out. And the owner told me that the previous, he had the frame replaced entirely. This is a whole new frame right here, guys. So that's super important. Look for big things. Your tires, right? Your tire is really important. Ask the owner his vehicle history. How often do you do your oil? Start it up. Go on a test drive. See what color the exhaust is. Listen, when you're flipping stuff, you have to be diligent. You have to think straight. You can't just see dollar signs. So you need to use your senses, right? Use your eyes. Look at this, right? There's a big dent right there. I noticed that. You have rust. That's kind of fallen off. You have a lot of rivets on this. But the bed looks good, right? You got to kind of see things with your eyes. Touch stuff, feel stuff, smell stuff, hear stuff. So really use your 5 senses. That's very important when you're going to flip stuff. Now, how did I find this deal? I have an app on my phone. It's called Fetched. All it does is you type in what you want, and it'll pretty much alert you. It'll send you a notification whenever a deal pops up. And so for me, I had mine configured for Toyota Tacomas, and this popped up, and I was the first one able to get on scene. I saw the listing when it said it was posted 10 minutes ago, and I got there within the hour. So timing super important. You need to have tools in your toolbox like the Fetched app that will allow you to get to deals quick. It's not, people are like, you have to, I don't think it's luck, right? It's not luck. You have to get there at the right time. You have to be in the right time in the right place, and you need to find stuff that'll use your advantage, that'll do that, right? I noticed the paint was great, no cracked windshield. I went on a nice test drive for it, and the risk to rewards there, right? Just the motor in these alone running, is worth a lot more than $1,000, clean title, make sure there's no liens, make sure, it's a good vehicle, right? You want to, ideally, I asked myself, would I drive this if after I get it, would I be comfortable driving it for a couple years, and would I be able to make money afterwards? That's kind of what you have to do. But I clean it up, right? I didn't even touch this thing. I'm probably going to sell it the way it is, with no working air conditioning, and I just vacuumed the crap out of it. I'll try to throw a picture on screen of what it looked like when I got it. It really wasn't even too dirty, but it was still dirty to the point where it was, it was still really dirty. It wasn't trashed. It didn't have mud caked onto it, but it was still good. Obviously the biggest concern was the rust on the bed, right? So this is the frame. That's solid. Your bed is rusting out here a little bit, right? Up there in that corner, there's some rust. But that's not detrimental. That's not, that's just I'll use an analogy here. The frame, this is your skeleton, right? Of your body. And this is just kind of like your skin, right? Your skin will re-heal, you know, if you do the right maintenance to it. And on this truck, the answer to that would be replacing this entire bed, and you know, that's probably close to $1,000, which I'm not going to do. But if I did want to do, and I put a bed on, I could honestly make, you know, $8,000 or $9,000 on this truck instead of what I'm going to ask, which is somewhere in the ballpark of probably $5,000 to $7,000. That's what I'm expecting to get in there. So find deals that have good risk to reward. Use tools to your advantage, like the Fetched app, and just be smart. It's not super hard. You just have to have the tools, know a little bit about them, and give it a nice wash. And I'm gonna list this on Marketplace now. So there's some tips and tricks, guys. Feel free to leave comments in the under the video, and I'll do my best to answer them. And if anyone needs help looking for deals, feel free to reach out. You're always welcome. Thanks, guys.